All right, and we are live. And it is holding. And good morning, all. Excuse me. All right, let's get this guy in place. Let's see if this will melt. Let's experiment, shall we? In fact, we're going to go to the straight up thin cement, which I think is a little hotter. Hey, Ken. What's up, man? How the fuck are you? Not bad. It's Friday. Yeah. So I feel. Got a late start to the day. I got a client meeting at around 10:30. So I may get some yard work done before I go to work. Let's see. There we go. Daughter's 8th grade graduation day. Ooh, that's awesome. So she's off to high school after this. It looks like your daughter and Joe's daughter both are moving into that realm. Damn. How does it feel, old man? I know exactly what I just said. I gotta find something to work on now. Hey, Edwin. Good evening. How are you? Nope, straight to work for her. Nice. Get to the salt mines. She's not the coal miner's daughter. She's the coal miner. Found her a good factory job. Really? Is this in one of these non-existent factories that we've made here? All right, let's get some glue in here. Oh, could I use this stuff? So I can get this model to be a little less flippy floppy. Asbestos plant. Wow. Good evening, Edwin. How are you, my friend? Wow. Asbestos plant. Damn, that's harsh. I love it. Anyway, as you were saying, happy Friday. Ken, is she your oldest or your older kid? What's going on, Peter? Morning, Mike. Happy Friday, and to you, and to you. Peter's got this interesting little comment. It's the swirly of death. Eldest is a junior. Oh, wow. Hey, Peter. Okay. Mike, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Fantastic start to your day. Hello. Let's not do that in my lap, just in case this thing decides to let go. I'm still booting up. Yeah, looks like. It's like, that's an interesting message. Hey, Mike. Let's get... Okay, we're going to burn that stuff off in a second. There it goes. All right. Pardon. Okay. Let's get some glasses on so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Ooh, maybe I'll go in through this side. Wouldn't that be nice? Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Let's give it the All-American try and see what happens. Morning. Some stage rise now. So what's going on, dude? How's Zaku? It came out pretty okay. Got a little story to tell about this thing. It took me a second. It's like, when was the last time I actually broke this model out? Hey, Joe. Good morning. What's going on, brother? Happy Friday the 13th. Woo-woo. Yeah, feels like it. Lack of sleep, cleanup again, this time organizing photos from the past 5 years. Photos. Ooh, wow, really? Let's get that stuff off. So it's actually thinking about this model and thinking, what about you guys have actually, some people may have actually seen this model before. In its fully finished, completed heyday. Going to the doctor today, hoping to stay away from work today. How did things go yesterday, Joe? Hopefully the what do you call them? The ass hats, the corporate ass hats were okay. Morning, Joe. Good morning. Happy Friday, George. And to you, Richie. And to you. Good morning. Give me 1 second here. Questions. Some stay dry. Have we met before? Just want to make sure. If we have, I apologize, and I'll write down your name because I try to remember everybody when possible. And if we haven't, my name is George. Then we kind of met last night. And good morning. Thank you for popping in again today. How's the poison? Yeah, another week, another penny. You're making that much? Wow. Not in person, but on socials. Yeah. Some say drive. So where have we met? And what's may I ask what your first name is? And if you don't feel comfortable answering, I'm totally fine with that. The avatars are really tiny and can't always tell what I'm seeing. It's like he's doing calisthenics. Okay. So this model, I'm here most mornings, but I'm also getting ready for work. So I just lurk. Okay, got it. Cool. Well, lurk away, please. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you want to say something, feel free to do so. This is just a morning hang. Just hanging out before I get ready for work as well. Let's see if I can get in there and not do complete and utter damage to the plastic. I just bathed this thing in thin. You can call me Martin or Dry. And I think I was, you're on Blue Sky. Oh, okay. Which I haven't been on in a while. I'm hoping at some point to correct that. However, maybe not. We'll see. It's been a while because just social media burnout. I'll write that. I try to remember everybody's name. I find it very important. It's just a personal thing that when you know people's names, you build a common bond. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. Work is going so far. Keeping my fingers crossed. Going so far for me. So far, so good, I hope. They're going to the doctor to get better stuff for the poison sumac. Took a calamine bath last night. Feels better. Oh, that's good at least. Man. So about 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. Can't really recall. I'm going to leave it there for a little bit. I posted photos. It was for my birthday. I think it was around my birthday. It was a photo I had of, myself and my sister, myself and my wife, myself and, just different people. And my sister, I believe it was my sister. Shit, I'm going back now. Took a photo of when I was first working after university, when I was working in Boston at Boston University in their library system. My first job there was I worked in their reserve department, and they had I had a desk, and on my desk I had an Alf figure, and I had this robot built up, and it was in much better condition. It has gotten a little beat up in the interview. So this was it had to be 1988, 1989. So, it's been what, 30 plus years, 37. I can't do the math. 37 years, 36 years. That's how long I've had this thing built up, and it's just gotten smashed over the years. Hey, Tom, good morning. Back when you had to pay for haircuts. Oh yeah, dude. And if you take a look at the photos, I did have hair. I did have hair. Okay. I'm gonna get this thing kind of in a final position and hope that's not what I wanted it to do. All right, maybe we'll just kind of prop it up a little bit. Get Its arms down. I just gotta position it there for a second. There we go. Come on. What I want to do is just build a statue so it can kind of sit somewhere. It may become a desk mascot. A reminder of good times past. What's going on, Tom? Good morning. Those photos have you looking like those 70s computer nerds. I was kind of like that. It was the 80s, though. Don't overdate me, Joe. Yeah, I know I'm not a spring chicken, but 1980 Zaku built in 1980. Oh, yeah. Oh, this was definitely built in the 80s. Just like the, I can unclip the camera. I've got the original, one of the first models I ever built, the first Gundam models I ever built, hanging up over my my airbrush booth and bench. It was a 1/100 scale Zaku 1 because it has no pipes on it. Sure. Back in my day. If George had an Herbal Essence commercial. No, but I remember Herbal Essence. Dude, I look at the, what was it? So I had hair, 88, 89. It was starting to thin out at the top. By 92, it was like it's getting a little thin. And then by 93, it was funny. I started working in a bike shop at the time, second job, and I literally did a bowl cut. And then it looked like ass. And the next day, literally just buzzed it off. And it's been like that since. So 93. So how many years has it been? 32 years. Just shaved. Those Herbal Essence commercials used to be crazy. They were fun. Kind of miss some of those fun commercials, right? Making more yard here. Over here. Those trees had to cut down last year. Today, the stumps are getting ground down, maintaining the investment. Nice. Maintaining the investment. It sounds like that's what you guys got up there, Mike, right? Property investment. How's things going with the store, by the way? Hopefully things are picking up a little bit. I've been shaving my head since 25. Have you really, Richie? Yeah. Thinking about also one of the guys, one of my high school chums, same thing. He was balding by the time we were graduating, and I think a year after we graduated, he just took it all off. Hoping to increase its value to prepare for the investment. Can I ask what the investment is? Makes it sound like you're doing something with the property to make it the investment. All right, so that guy is getting ready to be just dry, basically. This model here is done. I don't think I've got anything left, do I? I don't think so. This is all done. I'll glue the hoses on when we get to that point, after everything gets painted and all. But the question is now, do I begin another Zaku or do I move on to something else? Last night I finished snapping together the recent P. Bandai Dunbine, Aura Battler Dunbine. That was a fabulous model. Has some quirkiness to it. Not a big fan of how the legs come together on the hips, but overall, it was a fun model. This one I finished it up. I was going to bring it downstairs, and my daughter looked at it. My older daughter, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's a Dunbine! Oh my god!" And she picks it up. Can I pick it up and look at it? Of course. So she's like, "Oh my god, this is such a beautiful thing." So normally what I end up doing after I snap together a model, I'll bring it downstairs, I'll bag it up, get everything ready to just kind of store. As big as the backlog is, I would say probably a couple hundred models have been assembled and just been bagged and ready for whatever the next phase might be. And the Dunbine was going to end up in that pile. But now I'm actually thinking I might just say, hey, until I take it to full finish, or if you ever want to work on it, here it is. I'd rather have it out and about, especially if it makes her happy, than bag it and store it or whatever. So I'll probably give it to her. But it was a good model, very enjoyable model. Makes me kind of think about working on another Dunbine. One of the old ones. So, you know what? I always forget to change this to live chat. I'm not sure if it changes things. Okay, there we go. All right, plastic cases for my snap build kits for better organization. Cases, yeah, I bag and just put them into bins. There's just too many. There's just too many. I'm not, patting myself on the back for the collection or what have you. It is what it is. But, just from a terms of storage, I couldn't individually, bin something. It would be way too many things. Bag it, toss it, gently place, not toss. Put the box cover. I usually get rid of the box bottoms. I posted on this a while ago. I break down the box bottom, get rid of it. Get rid of the nubs, get rid of all the stuff that's not necessary. Spare parts go in a spare parts bin. The rest of it gets bagged. Manual, water slides, stickers, whatever, get tucked in the manual, get tucked inside the box top, get stored. So anyway, let's take a look to see what we got here. Is there something I want to start on? I don't know. Start something else, right? So it's coasting along. Kim and I have both kid. I'm not sure I understand what that last word is, Mike. Individual plastic case takes up too much space, even though it's easier. Or 100%, way too easy. But also just different size of models. A model like this this Zaku versus say a what they call it, like a master grade, or the Kshatriya or something like that, Dendrobium. I really want to get another kit. Why? I do because I have a lot of P Bandai snap builds. Yep. Hey, I get it. Hey, if you got the ability to store it that way, that's great. Paint your mini next. Paint my mini next. I'm not really up for painting a mini. Not gonna lie. Not up for it. Sorry. Kind of checked out, just doing what we have to ride it out. Yeah. And you're right, Mike, that sort of sounds like you're riding it out, which means there will be a finality. Still need to clean and reorganize workspace. Yeah, me too. But I got rid of a model yesterday. I got rid of that plane. That plane will not be finished. That plane will become a paint mule. In fact, let's get rid of some of these things. Because I will not be... These are the, I don't know, bombs, wing tanks. I guess I would imagine there must be what they call it, fuel tanks. Get rid of those things. Put those in the spare parts bins. That's the stuff I'm going to need to store later. You have a few paint mules. I do, but I actually officially only have two. I use this guy as a paint mule. Bizarre. It's fun experiment with this thing. So different techniques I've tried on here. For example, like just a little bit of like, mostly weathering type of stuff. Let's see if I get the focus. There it goes. A little weathering on the crazy camera. There it goes. A little weathering on the feet. A little splatter technique on the sides. Trying different colors out. A little bit of got a little heavy-handed, but you can see some streaking there. A little out of scale. But that's the stuff you try, right? To see what works. and I'll have a plane. So in some ways, it's a good thing. It's like that's part of the Kirk collection. I feel kind of bad about not having a Kirk model done. My hope is hopefully before the end of the year. I'll look through the bins and see what might be good, and maybe I'll try finishing off one of those later this year. But for now, let's see. I could start on my theme build. Testing weathering with that for practice for the tank. That was actually practice for the Spartan. That's how, because those colors are the colors that I use on the Spartan, the Destroid Spartan. So now the question is, what do I work on? Let's take a look, shall we? It's basically some assembly. Let us see. So I do have speaking of Dunbine, I can build another Dunbine. Yeah, the Requiem for Vengeance Zaku. Yeah, I've already snapped that together, and I've got one of the P Bandai sets as well. But it's also got the Dan O'Shea, the Bozun, and the big ship. Sorry, can't even see what the hell I'm doing. There we go. The Zelerna, which does look cool. It's kind of a groovy ship. I like that ship a lot. Makes me want to rewatch Dunbine. So what's cool about this is they've literally redone the entire these are very much simpler models. That's awesome. So the ship is off scale. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. 550 scale, something like that. They actually call it here. I think it's 550 if memory serves. That's awesome. Yeah. The ship or the entire set. Yeah. Like these guys, like if you take a look at these things, this design is one of my favorites. I just love the looks of these robots. The RV Zaku was like $20 for me. Just get it. Really? Prices come down, huh? I like to get my hands on the Gundam. That's the only one I don't have right now. So the Zelerna would be kind of fun. It's just that it's like building a ship, and that means it's just going to be a lot of painting and building, Let's see. Do I need to get a couple of them? Translucent color would be amazing. Tons as well. Get a couple of them. Get a couple of what, Joe? I'm sorry. That set is amazing. Yeah, this is a pretty happening set. The unfortunate thing with a lot of this stuff, Peter, is because it's of limited interest in the U.S. Because Dunbine has gotten a DVD release, but it's not a well-known series here in the U.S. It was a P Bandai release. A lot of these sort of multi-packs of old models, these are the original molds that they've boxed up. Dunbine sets. Let's see. I do need to get a couple of them. Translucent colors will look amazing. Have tons of them as well. Yes, there are lots. There are lots of I've got quite a few of the Dunbine set kits, the originals, as well as the HGs that they did in the late '90s, early 2000s. But a lot of these kits from the Dragonar stuff, they did an El Gaim set. They haven't done Votoms. There's a few. In any case, they've done a few of these sets, and then they release them primarily as P Bandai. Not all of them. The Dragon Arc sets were released as standard releases, but the El Gaim and the Dunbine sets were released as premium Bandai. But do I I'd highly recommend picking these things up. These are great. I've actually wanted the Zolera. This is the reason why I picked it up. I wanted it for the ship. It's got the Gundam EX. It's still $25. Nice. I'm not in a rush. You know, that's the part of it. I want it, but I'm not in a rush. A lot of new inventory is going to go up. A lot of new inventory is going to go up. Dunbine sets. It would be nice. A lot of, what do you mean by a lot of new inventory is going to go up? Are you talking about up in price? Possibly. I mean, we're living in a pretty crazy time when it comes to, you know, what's going to happen with tariffs and pricing. Okay. Anyway, Zolerna is a possibility, but I think I'm going to hold off on that because the Zolerna is going to be something I want to take to complete finish. And I'm just looking to do some kind of basic assembly right now of something rather than full finish of something. Got info on reprints and their pricing. Cool. Where'd you get that? Biomech like Guyver and Dunbine really like that style, almost HR Geiger. Yeah, the Guyver stuff is the same with very organic mech. The one thing I would love for somebody to do, I'm not sure. I mean, I know that they did them as resin kits. Has anybody ever seen any of the Bubblegum Crisis kits? I love the hard suits from Bubblegum Crisis. Are going up, and not all are going up a lot. Not all are going up, and not all are going up a lot. It's a very interesting comment. The IBO kits are still dirt cheap. About 11 kits for $100 on Galactic. Yeah, nice. I want to build another Biomech or Onion Head needs a. Oh, yeah. Onion Head. Oh, yeah. Dude, you've got to do something. Do you have an idea yet, Peter, or are you still fomenting? Now, that's a name drop. Sorry, what's a name drop? I apologize. I'm trying to make sure I understand. Are you talking about Bubblegum Crisis? Oh, yeah, that's a huge name drop. Guyver was one of my first animes I've ever watched. Really? Never really cared for it. I read the comic. It was all right. I mean, I like the idea of it, but I never kind of got into it. Bubblegum Crisis, on the other hand. Bubblegum Crisis. One of these days I'll watch the sequel to it, too. Anyway, let's put this thing back, but that's a possibility. I want to build something old. Let's see what we got. I could do a Gelf. Let's see. I don't want to work on the Salumco. There is the Yemlover Might. I have a vague idea. I won't start until PackCon is done. Yeah, get it all done. So here's a possibility. It's just that this might require quite a bit of reworking, but Yemlover Might from Orgus. I keep opening this box up and coming back to it. Putting it away, coming back to it, putting it away, coming back to it. I have a Guyver kit in vinyl from the movie. It was sculpted by Steve Wang. Oh, really? So it was sort of a third-party design, huh? That's kind of cool. The problem is vinyl. Yeah, exactly. Looks like a cool kit. Oh, this is a cool design. Once again, there was something about what I liked about the 80s There was so much, not all of it was good. A lot of that stuff that was coming out was very, very unique. Yeah, it's a soft vinyl kit. And Peter, is it a model, or is it more of like you're assembling a statue, like soft would be? Yeah, it's a vinyl kit. I think I remember hearing of it. I don't remember seeing it. The mecha designs from the 80s, from the organic stuff, the bug-like stuff from Dunbine, or the Orgus, which would have much more rounded stuff. Macross, you had all sorts of interesting, the Veritech fighters, the Valkyries, the transformable fighters, from the very armored mecha-looking things like from Votoms or Maquet. What else? The Dragonars, literally things that took Gundam and went to the next level. There's so many great designs that were introduced in the 80s. And then, of course, then you got into the smaller stuff like the Bubblegum Crisis hard suits, the Maddox 01, and stuff like that. Hello? So lots of great stuff that came out in the 80s that I think was really special, and I don't think we get that. And maybe I'm just not paying enough attention now. I just don't see that same level of wacky designs. People kind of going into something that may not be real. MacGyver is nice. Live action was a neat first attempt at anime live action. Nice. Yeah, it's a model kit. Vinyl kits were a 90s phenomenon. Yes, they were. I had the manga version too. It's long gone though. Really? The manga version of the vinyl kit? Listen, the 80s were great, just not politically, economically, and judiciary. But hey, kind of longing for those days now, Joe. As fucked up as they were, they ain't today. Anyway, so we do have this as a possibility. The only thing with doing this is that there's a lot of like construction that has to get done on it. But in general, if you take a look at this is what you had back in the day. 3. That's runner 1. That's runner 2. A small runner. And an even smaller clear runner, right? So the monsters too from the anime. Wow. Peter, can I ask what happened to all that stuff? So do they actually have, let's see. No, they didn't include it here. So the box actually included not only because it's kind of funny because that's complex, right? Look at all this. Look at all these assembly instructions, right? They're all in Japanese and they're very, very hard to figure out what you got to do, right? Very, very hard. So let's reprint the instructions in English. That's wild. So there are 2 versions of this. There's the M-Lover Mai and the M-Lover Leah. Do they actually show that one there? No, I don't. Yeah, there it is. They also make there's the M-Lover Leah. So you got the Dunbine and its 2 versions. I'm sorry, the Orgus and its 2 different versions, non-Batloid version, and then over here you got the Nick Kick. Time to learn Japanese. It has a pilot. Oh yeah, it has a pilot. Let's see. And you have to actually assemble the pilot. I may have to, again, I'm going to have to rewatch this series as well at some point. Yeah. There she is right there. Because she's literally kind of like, almost like in Ford motorcycle style. Yeah, you can actually see right there. Bring that up. Time to learn Japanese. Does this transform? No, this was more of a flyer, just allowed for, like arms to come out and that kind of thing. But in terms of, did this thing transform into like a standing robot? No. The Orgus did. Like this is the flyer mode, and then this, what do they call it? The tank mode. Oh no, Gearwalk. Okay, so they call it a Gearwalk as well. That's the Gearwalk mode of the Orgus. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing to focus a little bit. There it goes. And then next to it is the tank mode. And they did have a standing version. That was the Orgoroid mode, I think is what they called it. Best way to learn anything like Japanese is by harnessing Lune energy. Really? Edwin. Never thought of it that way. So it could work. Let me take a look at this. I could work on something like this. This could be fun. So you could have it with hands out or hands in. Could be kind of fun. Or was this created by the same guys as Macross? Yes, it was the third of the Super Dimension series shows. Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Super Dimension Century, Super Dimension Cavalry, Southern Cross, and then Super Dimension Century Orgus. Have you ever heard the stories of a man learning Japanese exclusively by watching some nice movie? I have not. Wow. What words did he learn? And can they be used in public? Interesting. All right. So, excuse me, my friends. So I guess the question is, do I start this? And do I go down a rabbit hole by doing so? Let's take a peek here, shall we? He is fooling enough after watching 4,000. And then, yes, the Gearwalk Batroid names carry over. Yes, that is correct. Not on all of them. I do apologize, everybody. Wait, she got the brilliant idea to get all three and combine it. Either 400 or 4,000. I need to check. Either way, it's a lot. Just looking to see what the details are like on this and how much reshaping we're going to end up doing. See, that's my concern with starting this model is I know I'm going to go down the rabbit hole on this one. Except there are people who learn English in Asia by watching Friends over and over. Yes. But why would you watch Friends over and over? How much reworking do I want to do? Sorry, guys, I'm looking at stuff. Yeah, see, that's going to be interesting. I got to go back and see, but is that supposed to be clear or is that supposed to be black? I think Friends is a good show. Hey, if you think so. How I learned language watching movies. My grammar was suck, but it is enough. Whatever it takes. Absolutely. Well, that's how we learn a lot of this stuff through popular culture, right? You know, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but why would somebody, sorry, let's get this thing focused a little bit. Why would somebody want to learn necessarily another language if it isn't because of something they see in the other culture, right? You know, I'm talking about out of the blue. Like, you know, if I want to, you know, if I'm really into French culture, I will learn French. If I'm really into Japanese culture or something iconic in their culture, I will learn Japanese. Yeah, there's an interest in something going on inside of that culture that sparks it for us. Sorry, guys, I'm just taking a look to see how much work this will be to get to do right. I want to learn German, but it seems like Japanese is more reasonable because I need to read those Gundam lore on the menu. Yeah, well, certainly, but you know, but Edwin, you're young enough; you can learn both. So I'm just looking at the manual to see how invested I want to be in this project. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of torn because I'm going to say something and it's going to infuriate Tom. Because I've got other stuff. I've got tasks under here which I can continue to work on. I can work on the freebie Gundam, which I showed yesterday, day before, whenever it was. I could work on the Harpy. You know, I'm sure Tom's about to respond like go ape shit over that. So I got the stuff that's already kind of in construction phase that I can continue to work on. Saying it's a French Japanese wife is not such a bad idea. That'd be kind of cool. Harpy. One reason I love watching Bleach, that anime explained words and social studies in Japan. Really interesting. That was reading Bleach or watching Bleach. It sounds like you meant okay. Was watching. Okay. Harpy's a possibility. I could do a tandem build, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Because that's the new one. Making messes. What's the Harpy? Sorry, I'm now trying to find where the Harpy is. Oh, I see where it is. Yep. And there's the Harpy that I started, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, however much long it's been. So that's always a possibility to continue on with that. You know, that's it. It's like, how much do I start versus how much do I actually take to full completion? Back on the Harpy hole, yeah. I think there isn't a kit that you are gonna look at that isn't a rabbit hole. Oh, it's 100%. Everything is a bit of a rabbit hole. That's why it's like working on the Zaku that I worked on. I can leave it right where it is until I get ready to paint it. It is done from a construction perspective, you know, whereas this isn't even close. And this is a project. That's a project. Because it took me, you know, the fan blades that I worked on as an example, you know, that took some time. And in fact, looking at it's getting a little beat up right now, but those fan blades, I'd have to repeat that on the other side. And I'm not sure if I'm ready to kind of jump back into doing that kind of detail work on something like this when I've got other priorities. But at the same time, I need to start getting through some of this stuff. You know, I'm hoping someday, and I've kind of reorganized this area a little bit, my shelf queens a little bit. I actually do want to finish the majority of these shelf queens. It's not that I don't. Everything from the ones I just listed, You know, I've got the Gyan Krieger I still like to get done. You know, the old that I got the Kubli, the gun cannon, the galleon tank. I mean, there's a few things underneath here that I'd like to get done. You know, I think part of it is, you know, and let's do this. I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I got to get jumping and getting ready for work. You know, part of the something that's changed a little bit in the last year or so is I'm having less ability to work on a model like at a high level in the evening. When I first got into the hobby and for the first 4, 5, 6 years, it was very easy to just kind of like come on down to the bench at night and stay up until 1 o'clock. I don't have a lot of that energy, which I had when I was doing things like the Spartan. So now it's a lot of my bench time is basically spent while I'm doing the live stream. And I can't do a lot of that intense work while I'm also live streaming. So that's where I'm kind of stuck a little bit in. I'm doing a lot of like what I call basic instruction stuff and not taking things to full completion. So I'd love to get back in. I'm going to try. I got to get myself at a point where in the evenings, I'll have a little bit more time. With my younger daughter going off to college, it's going to make it a little easier. But at the same time, with my wife not being here, you know, weekends are either going to be she's down here, we're going to be spending time, or I'm going to be up there spending time. So still got to make time. I'll find ways of making time, but it's just from a personal perspective, between the exhaustion of evenings and then just all the other stuff that has to get done, it's just been difficult years to really focus on getting something done because of my evening times not being there. Watching like have to pause, read the text around the diary of the mouth. Nice. Just need to turn on the cameras and tune us out. Yeah, I can't do that though. It's just, I mean, the reason why I do this is not because I want to work on models per se. I'm working on models while I'm hanging out with people. I don't know if I can do that. That's why I don't airbrush while doing a live stream. I can't. So anyway, let's put away some of this stuff. I just got to show this one because I just love this model. I love this model. From the original Harlock series. There's only can, no can't. You're 100% right, Tom. You're not lying. All right, I'm going to put this Zaku in here because it is officially done. Yeah. I'll recycle this runner. No more harpy hole. Yeah. I don't want to start another long-term project and leave it in between because the task is the one I really want to get back to at some point. The task and the freebie are really good. Plus this tank. Like I got projects that I really want, and it's like I'm really interested in getting them done. It's just that it's at a point where I don't have I don't know why I just don't have the energy to get it done, and it's bugging me. But it is what it is. I'll live. Yes, finish. I will. All right, let's put stuff away. I'm going to recycle this box bottom. Recycle that runner. Save the baggie. And with that, my friends, I think we're going to call it a morning session. That one is so close. You had to finish the SC Valkyrie also. I know. It's actually just sitting there. That one probably will get done sooner because it's just ready for paint. It's just, again, just getting myself back into the mindset of painting. See you tomorrow. Already, Edwin. Have a lovely evening, my friend. Thanks for being here today. Call off a weekend. It's more than calling off a weekend. Weekends are actually worse because of family obligations. It's not you're tired. You need the motivation. Kind of both. There is exhaustion too. There's also, not going to lie, there's also like, just a lot of the craziness that's going on, not in the world, but in my own personal life. Just a lot of stuff. There's also just some depression. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying that there's any bad shit going on. It's just that there's so much overwhelming stuff. And it's just like, I feel like it's beating me down a little bit. I'm not going to lie. The Zaku is going to stay here. Forgot to put the manual away. I'll put that away in a second. But with that, my friends, take Xanax. Okay, I'll just pop some Xanax. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Thanks for being on this morning. I do appreciate it. Really do. These are fun conversations. This is what I enjoy. This is like the good part of starting a day. There's always some enjoyment in just talking models, talking with friends. That's what this session's all about. And some days we actually get some things accomplished model-wise. With that being said, we'll be back on tomorrow morning, same time, same channel, and I'll hopefully have a direction. We'll see. Maybe I'll find something in the stash here, to new stash to work on, or maybe I'll work on a shelf queen. We'll figure something out. Let beat you down. What you gonna do? Good question. Very good question. Have a good one, guys. Y'all have good ones too. Guys, go out there, do good, brighten the world as much as you possibly can. It is a fucked up, crazy world, and it's up to us to make it better. Can't rely on others. It has to be us. Brighten the world for somebody. Do good for somebody. Show love and compassion for people. Don't vilify and discriminate and beat the shit out of people. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, same time, same channel. Enjoy, do good. Love you all. Catch you on the flip. Peace.